I'm Liesl. I'm here with Mama T, and we're here to look at some more herbs.
Yep.
We are in a kind of a backlot area, kind of by the canal,
Yes.
and we're going to see what we can find as far as herbs.
There you go. Okay, what we have here is second year burdock. Remember that burdock lives for 2 years. So you can tell it's second year because it's starting to bear. It's a little prickly. These are going to be flowers. Eventually they're going to be seeds. And if you remember with these, they stick together. Okay?
Yeah, we used to call those cockleburrs.
Yes. You see the seeds that come right off of these? They stick together. And once it's fall and they dry out, they really become sticky, and they'll stick to just about everything. Your clothing, your hair. I know about that with dreadlocks. Yeah, it really sticks to dreadlocks. And that's the way that the plant is built, to spread itself, to propagate itself by seeds. And so this is going to be the last year this particular burdock plant is going to be here, because it's going to die back and it's going to reseed itself. And if we remember, burdock is your go-to plant for itching, hives, or anything like that. It's a really good herb for that. And the bigger leaves are sometimes used by people as vegetables. It's called gobo, and among the Japanese, they actually will eat it as a vegetable. It's high in vitamin K and E and A, and the different types of vitamins that help boost the immune system. So it's used as antioxidant, but it's also got antihistamine qualities, and that's the reason why people use it a lot of times whenever they're got itching or anything like that. And I think I told a story about how the pregnant ladies that I knew that would break out in hives because of the hormonal change in pregnancies would go ahead and use burdock root, burdock leaf, any part of the burdock, and use it as a wash in a tea to help settle that down. So that's what we got growing here.
Burdock is 2 years, right?
Yes, yes.
So we got the first year, and then the second year is when the burrs come out.
Yes,
right?
yes, because it's showing out the seeds.
Both years.
Yes. Oh, you can use it both years, but if you want to pick burdock root, which is the strongest part of the plant, you'll want to get it in its first or second year, right before the frost hits, because all the strength goes into the roots then. Second year burdock is not quite as strong in its roots because it's getting ready to die back. So strength is actually going into the flower and the seeds, but it's still powerful.
And so when we're talking about like harvesting, it's where the plant is putting its energy at the time, right?
Yes.
So if it's in the flowers, it's putting the energy into
the flowers, yes, and the seeds, yes. So this is an interesting area because if you look, it's got burdock sown all right around here. And you can tell what's first year and what's second year. This is second year because you see the flowers. This is first year, and you see where the plant's putting its strength in its leaves. It's not putting it anywhere else because it's not in that second year yet. And then we notice what's also growing here, wild lettuce. Okay, and you can see the characteristic sap that comes from it. And wild lettuce, of course, is used as a sleep agent because it's a nerve vein, and it will coat the endings of the nerves with a type of very basic organic calcium and keep you from having spasms and nervous, energy and everything else, which is why this is used in quite a few teas, including one of the teas that you carry, right?
That's right. Yep. Yeah, the wild lettuce. It's actually really good as a painkiller, isn't it?
Yes. And so you can see that that's growing right next to the burdock. This is not unusual because they like to share soil with each other.
So a lot of times we find burdock and wild lettuce
together. Yes. Wild lettuce is very prolific. It's just everywhere. Now, if you look straight up, you'll see what's growing there. You've got apples. And so most of these apples growing here, they're green right now, but when we come back in September, they'll be red. And I tasted the apples from this particular tree that's just wild, just growing here. And there's the fruit is very sweet, very, very nice, And it just falls here. Nobody picks it up. Nobody sprays. It's just there.
Is there other parts of the apple that we use I mean, we use the apple, the fruit, all the
Right.
time. But is there like the leaves and
The bark is an astringent. It's
Okay.
particularly good for diarrhea because of the qualities an astringent has of drying things up. So a lot of times the leaves can be made into a tea for children that have very mild diarrhea. The bark is used for adults. In the Americas, one of the things they used to do is take the bark and shave it and make a tea out of it and then give it to people who have problems with diarrhea.
Huh.
Now,
And most everybody can identify like an apple tree.
Oh, of course,
You know, a lot
of
of people
course.
have apple trees in their yard, and so that's helpful.
Now what we have here is skeleton wheat. Skeleton wheat is in the mustard family, and so you can see the mustard flowers that are there. Mustard flowers are generally small like that and have like about 3 petals and things, and the mustard seeds are going to be here. Okay, you come back in the fall, these will be brown and dried, and when you break them open, then you'll be able to see the seeds. You can't really see too much anything. Mustard seeds are very, very small.
Right.
But if you look very, very carefully, let's see if the camera can go in and capture that. You can see very small green seeds, because eventually those will turn into little black seeds, and that's what you make your mustard and your mustard oil and everything from. So it's growing right there. It's sometimes called skeleton wheat because it looks like
a skeleton. Is this just a different variety
yes.
than
Oh,
mustard? So
there are
lots,
hundreds and hundreds of types of mustard.
Yeah, because we talked about, there's a lot of different types of mustard, so this is just one of the mustards.
Yes, and you can find them all over the place. It's Middle Eastern mustard. There's just all sorts of things. We can see other things that are growing here. We can see dandelion. If we look across here, let me see. What do we got? Yeah, we got lots and lots of dandelion there, and another crabapple tree there. And let's see, I'm looking to see, there's our alfalfa, that's there. And a little bit further on, as we go by, yes, and there's our poplars again. And again, this is one of the 4 aspirin trees, so you can see the characteristic shape of the leaves. When you pick these in the spring, because I come here to pick a lot of the buds just when the leaves are starting to come out, that's where you get balm of Gilead, because you take the actual buds, put them in a little bit of alcohol, and when you use the leaves, every part of this plant contains natural aspirin, so it's very good for pain. So you can make a tea out of these. The strongest part of this tree, though, if you miss it in the budding stage, is to get the bark. And again, you get the bark in the winter time, or actually right before winter hits, because the strength of the tea is in the bark. And when you go through, you can actually take some of the bark off. You never strip a tree of its bark, because that will hurt a tree.
Right.
But if you notice, we sometimes call this generous tree, because the poplars will throw down parts of themselves in their own bark. So it's very easy. See all the bark down there?
Right.
It's very easy to get bark from a poplar tree. You don't have to, they grow so tall, you don't have to climb up and get the bark. It'll happily throw it down for you.
Now, poplar tree, it looks like they are related to, like, it looks to be related to your aspen.
Yes,
and
yes.
Isn't that the significant of, like, the white bark on there? And so what are we looking for when we're looking for the difference of a aspen versus a poplar?
It's easy to tell the difference, because first of all, poplar leaves are more arrow shaped. They look like arrowheads.
Right.
Whereas I don't see an aspen right now. Otherwise, I could show you the difference very easily.
They're more dewdrop.
Yeah, they look like coins. Because sometimes they're called coin trees, and they also rustle. That's why they call them quaking aspens. You have a wind go through a poplar, and you're not going to get a lot of leaf movement, but because of the way that the leaves of an aspen are, when it goes through, it rattles.
Right.
Okay, and also too, the way you can tell, poplars have a tendency to have dark bark, especially down at the bottom. But an aspen has very whitish bark, and that's where the story comes in that I was told, not a true Bible story, nothing like that. Okay, so I'm doing my disclaimer, but the story was God was making a bunch of trees, and he got tired, and he said, oh, I got to do important stuff like elephants and, you know, and pandas and stuff, so I'll leave you angels to figure it out. So they started making trees, and there was this one tree that looked a lot like a poplar. And the reason they tell the story this way is to remind you they're both in the same family. Right. So what happened was, one little angel was doing this, and he said, you know, I like my tree. And the other angel said, oh, that looks just like a poplar. You know, you're just copying off everybody else. Right. And he got so mad that one of the little seraphs came by. Now, seraphs are supposed to have lots of eyes, okay? Right. So, a cherub is supposed to have lots of eyes. So he's going by, minding his own business, and the bigger angel picks up and slams him into the tree, and so he's stuck in there, and his eyes are blinking like this, and God comes by and says, knock it off, stop fooling around. So he pulls the angel out of the tree, but it left the eyes there. So if you want to tell the difference between an aspen and a poplar, look and see, because you'll notice that when you look at a picture of a poplar, it looks like it has eyes. That's why it's sometimes called peacock tree, because you can see the eyes blinking. So see the eyes. Yeah, so that's how you can tell the difference between the two. The poplar have the eyes. Yes. Okay. So the aspen has the eyes. Oh, the aspen has the eyes. Yeah. Okay. Poplars just, you know, they got the darker bark and everything else, and they got the arrow leaves, you know, and the story is that the angels were bored, so they start poking each other. Oh. And God said, knock it off, stop doing that. So anyway, so that's how you can tell the difference. Cool. There's one spot I wanted to show everybody because it's kind of cool, you know. This is gumweed in its early stages before it turns bright yellow. It has that really distinctive smell. You can vaguely smell the resin in there. But once it turns bright yellow and it's in its full flowering, you can really smell it. Called gumweed because it's sticky, and it will stick to you like crazy, and it's the resin in it that's really good for people who have respiratory problems and breaking up phlegm in the chest. And it has a very distinctive smell to it. The whole plant contains this, but particularly the flowers. Many times when I take it and dry it, I'll just take it and hang it up, and it's very, very useful for that. So this is one of my places that I go if I'm looking for good gumweed. Because again, nobody sprays. Nobody really thinks about this area. One of my favorite trees is Russian olive, and she doesn't have her olives out yet, and I always have to be careful when I pull from her because they have thorns. Okay, but you can see, you just see the beginnings of the drupes. They're just starting to grow here. When I come back at the end of August, these are going to be full and round, and the leaves, the bark, and the drupes get dried and used in things like 7 archangels or a lot of the cough medicines and things. Boosts the immune system, breaks up phlegm, and is particularly good as an antioxidant. And there's the distinctive gray leaves for that. Yeah. Oleander family. It's not real olives. Well, and you know, I always kind of like, it's kind of distinctive to me now that I'm seeing it more and more. Right. Because it's got a darker bark. Yes, it does. But it's got these really beautiful light-colored leaves. Yes, kind of these frosty-looking leaves. They're very pretty. They are, and they've got a nice color, and they're kind of, it does have a very distinctive look. Yes. From the other trees. But isn't this pretty? Look at that. That is just so pretty. Where the water rushes and everything. There's peach trees across from here. And one more herb. Is it getting to late season of pineapple weed then? Well, let me see. Yeah, it's kind of dried a bit. Yeah, this has gone through because of the heat. So it's actually, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, maybe closer to the water. There was some fantastic pineapple weed. I'm walking from my house to the church. Oh, cool. And so we picked some, and I told the girls, I go, here, squish this and smell it. It smells so good. But yeah, but I like the look of that because of the way the water rushes through. So, anyway, yeah, probably.
They're a little bit.
They're too dried back.
Yeah, I think that will.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. We've loved showing you the herbs.
Yep,
and
it was
like
a blast,
and subscribe.
man. Subscribe.